Good evening, everybody. Well, of course, it's the night that launches the testimonial year for this great Queenslander, Trevor Gillmeister, and now joined by his teammates, Peacock, Weston, Hudson, Gaffey, makeshift centres, Plowman, Norton, Pizzette, Hearn, Teven, Young, Horsnell and Prothero. Bob Linder is the coach, and Trevor Gillmeister is the captain. And here is a great rugby league side, the Brisbane Broncos. We saw them against Western Suburbs and then against Illawarra. They beat the Crushers last year easily in front of a whopping crowd at ANZ. Khan, Hancock, Renoff, Smith, Saylor, Walters, Langer, Lazarus, Kerrod, Walters, G, Thorne, Can, Ryan, Wayne Bennett the coach. This will be the biggest crowd the Crushers have hosted. They made 29,000 last year. They'll go past that tonight. So the local derby to top them all is underway. And the player that's playing so brilliantly, Lazarus, gets the first pass and the first action. Andrew G, his partner in crime, follows him. Out beyond the 20-metre line comes Alan Can. 27 metres out from their own line. Kerrod Walters with the head freshly shaven. Now played back for Alfie Langer to give it away, and Thorne takes it ahead. Good yards. They're building a good set of six on their first of the night. Langer goes for the boot. Bouncing it down to the 10-metre line for Danny Peacock to come away and run into a crunching tackle from Renoff. And so now this is Plowman. In fact, Weston. Now, this man that we saw dishing out some big hits against Parramatta, Grant Young. Teven's in the 9, the 11 is Gilly. Trevor takes his first tackle. They let him know they're around too. Darren Smith. Now, Brett Horsnell. Paul Vaughton is salivating here. Charged down by Langer. Peacock cleans it up. Langer cleans him up. Good stuff by Langer. Yeah, Kevy, Gilly, they're all here. Look at him, he can't even talk.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. There's been plenty of impressive things about the Broncos in their two matches to date. Probably nothing more impressive than the physical nature of their play. This time Glenn Lazarus will be penalised for a high tackle on Tony Hearn. But they're really looking to impose themselves on their opposition. And that first set of six they brought out, it was great stuff.
There's no love lost between those two. Let me tell you, there's been a few things said in the press the last couple of days. This will be a big battle, Hearn up against Lazarus.
Pezzett, the number 7. Now, on the end of their first penalty, the tap has been taken and Tony Hearn. 15 metres into opposition territory. 30 metres out for Young. Teven. Pezzett. Gillmeister. Ooh, it was close to forward, but Langer met him. I think they both came up smiling, Gillmeister and Langer. Pezzett again. Pezzett! Followed through by Teven. He's over. Can he get it down? Held up. That is great defence.
Oh, well, we saw Pezzett a couple of weeks ago do exactly the same thing against Parramatta. On this occasion, they no try results, but the big right foot step, and Teven came from nowhere to back up. And the defence is there. Kevin Walters and Hancock, they hold him up.
Yeah, that's great football from both teams, isn't it? Incisive play from the Crushers, and then magnificent defence from Kevin Walters. Kept his head in a dangerous situation, rolled the player on his back. The Crushers now keeping the pressure going through the scrum win.
This is young Travis Norton, 20 years of age today.
Oh,
heavy stuff. Prothero felt it. 10 metres out. Young again. There he goes. 3 of them pull him away. Teven. Long ball. Pezzett going wide and deep. Norton in and away, but grabbed. Langer's defence is superb. Horsnell. 10 metres out from the line. 5 gone. Pezzett goes the blind side. Rolls it in. Hancock was waiting. And away goes Hancock. Bumping them off. Losing the ball. Khan is with it.
Yeah, probably not the best option for Pezzett. He had a big line to the left around the open. And they went the blind, and Hancock, what a player he is. He knocked 14 of them out of the way.
And he dropped it.
G again. Lazarus. 33 metres out from their own line. Kerrod Walters. Darren Smith. Hudson made the tackle in combination with Plowman. Now Langer. Cuts out Sailor. Across for Can. Can is pulled down by Horsnell and by Prothero. Langer's kick. Taken on the run from out of the deep by Peacock. Look at Peacock's run. Steven. Inside ball. Hudson. What a start. Steven again. Horsnell stands and unloads and cleaned up by South Queensland. Weston. Young to the 20. Inside it. No score. 5 3/4 gone. Pezzett. Cross to his 5/8. Now out to the centres. It's Nigel Gaffey. He lost ground with the football. Pezzett. Puts a kick in. Khan. Taken by the kicker.
Again, the kick was not a good one on the last tackle. Really didn't put any pressure on Willie Khan as Wendell Sailor takes the ball over his 20-metre line on the second tackle. It's been a good positive start from both teams. Good defence. Steve Renouf now getting involved from the dummy half position. The Crushers have thrown everything at the Brisbane team. They've cracked open on a couple of occasions. They still haven't had their line crossed, or they've had it crossed, but no points registered.
Another charge by Lazarus. Kerrod Walters, they got numbers. Darren Smith down the right flank. Behind Kerrod, picked up by Willie Khan. 30 metres out now. They get a smell of Crushers territory. Langer, bullet-like pass. Sailor, flick pass. Ryan, pounced on by Pezzett. Picked up by the Crushers. I think that's Gilmeister.
There's a touch he's come on.
I just wonder whether this will be something that Darren Plowman came up with on Willie Khan. Willie Khan really resented something that happened in the tackle on the far side of the field. And I think it was his opposing wingman, Darren Plowman, who was the recipient of his wrath. This is the tackle here. From over the top, you see Willie Khan gets up. He was angry anyway.
Yeah, you've got to watch out for that wrath.
I tell you what, he'll nearly win the race at Sandown tomorrow. Kerrod Walters now at dummy half on the 20-metre line. Crushes into the ground. And a strong run taken ahead by Thorne. Now they're 10 metres out. Something's got to give here. Langer. Lazarus. 7 metres out from the line. Langer's assembling them on the right. It goes out wider. Khan is there. He puts a hand in the face of Norton. Darren Smith is a dummy half. It comes across for Langer, then for Kevin Walters, then for Wendell Sailor. Sailor steps away from a tackle, then is taken jointly by Prothero and Hudson. 5 gone. Kerrod Walters a dummy half to the right for Langer to go back and across with the bomb perfectly placed. And Peacock makes a mistake. The Broncos get a touchdown. Michael Hancock has put the hand on the football, and it's no try.
Gee, be keen to have a look at this one. Danny Peacock, a simple drop ball on the bomb. And Michael Hancock reacted very quickly. Let's have a look who gets the hand down first. Looks like a try to me.
There's hands all over the place. I reckon Peacock, let's watch this hand. that one there, I reckon Peacock's got it down first.
Well, if he did, the ruling is correct. But...
well, it's hard to tell from even those pictures, but you've got to give the in-goal judge, who was right there only a metre away, I think he might have called that one right. But here goes Hancock.
30 metres out from the Crushers line. It's now Kerrod Walters, looks for Lazarus, and the big man tramples over the top of Clinton O'Brien. Inside pass, and Ryan has his legs taken by Tony Hearn. Tremendous tackle. Kerrod Walters, a hand up for Kevin. Then it's gone away for Renoff. Renoff for Hancock. And Hancock is put away. A metre from the sideline, a metre from the try line.
He should have been there earlier, Michael Hancock. Steve Renoff was going to put him in for a try, but the winger didn't react quickly enough.
Kerrod Walters again. To the right they go. Through Langer. On to Kevin. He puts it high. And again, they're there and equal to it. Plowman will bring it back, or the Crushers do, to the 20-metre line.
Oh, aren't they defending well? What's that done, though? They've used up a lot of juice, the Crushers. It's at the 20-minute mark now. There's a few walkers out there for them.
That's the thing, isn't it, Fatty, with the unlimited interchange? I'm sure that Bob Linden now will be looking just to get plenty of players out there. And there's another mistake. And you know that you're going to be penalised at some stage by the Broncos if you make mistakes in your own danger area. It's Clinton O'Brien. In fact, it's Plowman, a dummy half, just looking at his first receiver too quickly, took his eyes off the football and knocked on. I think that they've got to crack shortly. Oh.
Jones is on.
Oh, what about this?
Broncos knock on.
An awful pass from Alan Langer. Well out in front of Kevin Walters. He looked as though he'd come up with a slips catch. Must have been a little knock on in there. There it is.
So a favour handed back to the Crushers. Gaffey tries to combine with Plowman. 10 metres on their own side of halfway. Jones, former Manly player and runner-up in a Rothmans medal a few years ago. Pezzett, now they're standing still and passing. A bit of the pepper has gone from them. Played by Norton. Gilmeister to the halfway line.
The important thing for them, that Ray, is that they've weathered the early storm. In fact, they were great in the first 5 minutes. In the last 10, they've had plenty to do. The best chance for the Crushers in this match was to keep the opposition at bay early on, and they've done that for the first quarter of this match.
There's a problem with Renoff, is there, Gary?
Yeah, he took a bit of a knock a few minutes ago. Chris Johns is on the sideline warming up. Interestingly, after 22 and a half minutes, it's going to be the first interchange for the Broncos when Johnsy goes on.
Renoff back on their own 20-metre line, and Chris Johns goes on in the centres. But Renoff is still there.
Alan cancelled the fearless.
Langer's made a break. Gets it away. Then from Kevin Walters. The pass looked forward for mine.
Well, that's unlucky for the Broncos. A beautiful break made by Langer. Some tired Crushers defence out there. Walters is back on the inside. Now watch Chris Johns come looming up the inside. It would have been his first touch, but he didn't look inside, looked outside, and I think the ball ended up going forward.
The scrum 40 metres away from the Crushers line. Still no score. As Gaffey is put away about 7 metres on his own side of the halfway. Jones taken by Andrew G, and then the shoulder of Lazarus, and a penalty against the Broncos inside the 10. It's an area of David Manson's game that he has to concentrate on, particularly in a match like this. I've been watching particularly the Broncos creeping up inside the 10, out wide. It gives them the opportunity to umbrella in. Gilmeister now. Wouldn't he dearly love to lead this Crushers side to victory tonight? Pezzett held it back. Norton tackled with no gain in ground. Teven on. 14 is Philip Lee. Back to the right. Pezzett again. Then for Norton. Across for Hudson. Hudson is 18 metres out from the line. Prothero. Oh, Pezzett knocks on so simply. Now it's a penalty. You'll find that it came off the feet of another of the Crushers who was offside.
Well, Mark Prothero really put a lot of pressure on Troy Pezzett here. It's the last tackle. And right at the death, he decides, well, I'm not going to kick the football. I'll pass it to somebody else. By that time, Troy Pezzett had the defence in his face.
Andrew G. 14 and a half minutes of the first half remain. That is Chris Johns. That left arm heavily bandaged. Thorne now. And Ryan. And a good tackle by Prothero. He's pulled off some beauties tonight. Langer. Johns is with him. He got rid of Gilmeister and then tried to struggle free from the next tackle. Kevin Walters away from a clutching tackle. Ball taken in by Philip Lee. They're back on their own 20-metre line. Weston. Teven. Gaffey. O'Brien. Plenty of former Eastern Suburbs players there in the Crusher side. And they've lost it. Norton, the birthday boy, puts it down.
That's his first mistake in this match. He's been extremely impressive in the pivot role for his side. Another penalty given for a play the ball infringement. No doubt again the Broncos would kick the touch here. Getting into that danger area now. 13 minutes left on the clock. That's a great kick. Tap to be taken 8 metres out. This is a test for the Crushers late in the first half.
6 penalties to 2 in favour of the Broncos. Andrew G. as they set it up. Now Thorne 2 metres out. Langer along the line. Kevin Walters for Khan. Khan put away close to the line. Kevin Walters again. On the bounce for Langer. That might have taken the sting out of the attack. Langer's able to get it away. Karen Walters throws the dummy. Goes into vacant pasture. Gets it back. And Khan, Willie Khan, he gets the first points of the game.
Oh, it had to come, didn't it? The masters they are at those short passing games. They just keep coming in waves. And look, it all breaks down here. A bad pass to Langer. And out of this, they create a try. It's typical Broncos football. Walters throws a dummy. The Crushers' defence has dropped off. You can't do that. And then Khan backing up.
Yes, Philip Lee, the number 14, overread the situation for his side. He stopped twice. Didn't come up on the other side of the ruck. He thought the play had broken down.
Khan, the try scorer. Khan, the converter. 6 points to nothing at Suncorp in Friday night football. Welcome back. And a tremendous passage of play to get this local derby underway. And Lazarus going to cover a fair bit of ground to clean up the kickoff. That is G, able to get it away for Karen Walters again to make an incisive run. Ball came down and off one of the Crushers backwards for Hudson. Penalty goes to the South Queensland side.
I wonder whether they'll kick for for goal here. I'd be looking to get some points on the board, but Pezzett rushes up, kicks for touch. I'm surprised that they didn't go for 2 points with under 10 minutes to go.
Well, here they go now, with Young back into the fray. That's how close they are. Long pass finding Pezzett. Now, Norton. He had to be tackled, ball and all, because the Crushers had a three-man overlap. Gilmeister works it on. Gaffey gives it out. Plowman! Plowman scores! Try scorer in awful trouble. Pardon me. It is Darren Plowman, and this was the try. Pardon me.
It was a great ball from Gilmeister, and then Nigel Gaffey drew his man. Just left too much work for Wendell Saylor to do. Plowman did a great job to get the ball down just in the corner.
Oh, the old Munster, he's produced a beautiful ball. Gaffey did well, draw and pass situation.
This is Travis Norton. Rookie of the year last year. His kick will come down short. So 6 points to 4 at Suncorp.
Here's a chance.
This is Norton, the 5'8". He's now playing out on the left wing. They come across for Young. Cairn picks him up and puts him away. Tony Hearn back and away from the half. Hosnell 30 metres out from the Broncos line. Under 4 minutes of the first half to go. 6-4 as the Crushers head down to the 20-metre line on the fifth tackle. Pezzett trailing through. This is Lee, and here's a try. Their second, scored by Weston. Craig Weston scores. The Crushers are in front.
Great work there from Troy Pezzett on the last tackle. Getting out of dummy half and seeing that the Brisbane defence was in disarray. Picks the ball up now. As we freeze it there, you can see the Brisbane players are still going back. That's the hole that Pezzett heads for, and he's got great speed as play continues. The little offload to Philip Lee, and this is a magic ball. Very select in his passing and picks up Craig Weston, so both wingers have scored for the Crushers on either side of the field, but it was set up by the little halfback late in the tackle count.
Oh, how good's this ball from Philip Lee? We don't know much about him. He's only a kid, 18 years of age.
Now, the kick by Norton is flagged away, but we've got 8 points to 6. The South Queensland Crushers as we watch the try from another angle.
He's done some good things in the first half, Pezzett. His kicking game hasn't really been on fire, but his running game on that occasion was. I just saw that the Crushers don't really have a recognised goal kicker, do they? Travis Norton's only a Freddie fill-in, and they haven't got a goal as yet.
You people that fancy a bet on the football, Brisbane went into the game 10-1 on with centre bet. The Crushers at 5-1, and they wrote a bet tonight, 20,000 on to win 2,000. I wonder how that person feels right now with the scoreboard at 8-6 in favour of the Crushers. The other betting on the game, it was give or take 18.5 at 5-4 on. 40 metres out from the Broncos line. Centre of the ground, Crushers on the attack. And it's been a magnificent first half for them as Pezzett weights it down. And 15 metres away from the Broncos line. That is a problem for them, Gary, the goal kicking, the Crushers, I mean.
Well, they've got a player on the bench, Clinton Shifkovsky. He played fullback in reserve grade. He's a super boot, about 85 or 90% is his goal kicking record, and he's a good player as well. Now, Bob Linden could use him. He's sitting on the bench at the moment.
Would you like to try that again for me?
Clinton Shifkovsky.
Thank you. You're not exempt either. Now, it's Alan Cann, who's 23 metres out from the Broncos line. Langer has peppered them. He's been menacing. Kevin Walters, one of the great support players in the modern game. To the halfway line, 5 gone. The Broncos looking for a try. Coming up to half-time. The pass was forward from Langer to Renouf, and the touch judge called it. The siren will sound. That is the end of it. the first half anyway. And haven't we seen some great rugby league? Round 4 of the Optus Cup is up and running, and this crowd is standing and applauding the South Queensland side in particular. Theme that it's a domestic game that is aligned only with Brisbane, but I'm sure it's got a lot of appeal to people right across the rugby league country of Australia. One of the glamour sides up against the underdog. And do we love an underdog? Well, at the moment they're in front by 2 points as Young brings it away to the 30-metre line. Karen Walder's back on. He had an exciting first half hour. Laid on a try with the help of Alan Langer. This is Nigel Gaffey. Crushers have to keep the intensity, keep the momentum going. Can they do that? Willie Kahn back off his own 20-metre line now. Early seconds of the second half. Kahn, who scored the Broncos try. Saylor coming in off the right flank and then through. Some feeble tackling on Saylor. Peacock's got him. It came off Young's head to play on for Hearn.
Well, he made the great run and then came the mistake, uncharacteristic of Wendell Saylor, as the Crushers try and work it out of their own territory. Now, beautiful run. Look at the power of the man. And then the good step. Then the Crushers get hold of him and the ball goes loose, trying to offload there. Oh, no, just came loose.
So the Crushers to the halfway through Tony Hearn, being forced back by Green in the 16. Let's see what Gary Belcher found out at half-time.
Well, unfortunately, that Wendell Saylor error was what was happening in the first half. Wayne Bennett wants them to stop pushing the passes and forcing the play. They've got to improve their kicking game or get back to their kicking game. They keep trying to run it on fifth tackle, and it's just not the way they should be playing. It's not what happened last week against Illawarra. Their talk has to improve when they're tied in defence, and they've admitted the game is a very quick one. The Crushers are really taking it to them. Bad news from the Crushers dressing room. Darren Plowman has a serious knee injury. He won't be back. Cruciate ligament, should be out for the whole season. Bob Linder just wants them not to panic, stay with the basics, keep hassling him around the marker area, and he believes that they've got a real big chance in this game.
All right, Gary, thank you for that. Michael Hancock is down injured as Kerrod Walters pushes this on to the left, and they knock on. Capitalised on by Horsnell. Teevan looks at the referee, thinking of a penalty. Quick passing for Danny Peacock. 5 metres on their own side of halfway. Teevan's pass wide for Gaffey. Gaffey shoulders away from one. They try to put him over the touchline. Back now to the right for Young. Eight 6, the Crushers, 2 tries to 1. And now, into a yawning gap they go. The back rower, Prothero, taken by Willie Kahn, losing the ball, picked up over there by Michael Hancock.
Well, that's been the problem for both teams. Making breaks and then coming up with the mistake. Beautiful backline movement from the Crushers. Now Peter Ryan tries to get his team out of trouble. Unfortunately for South Queensland, Prothero couldn't hold the football in the tackle. Andrew G, strong charge over 30 metres.
So Kerrod Walters now away for Green. Broncos. Knock on. So everything that Wayne Bennett asked for is not happening for him. A couple of the pressmen, I was about to say, were of the opinion that the Broncos were ordinary in the first half, but maybe we've got to give some more credit to the performance of the Crushers and the pressure that they're applying.
Well, that was shades of 91 from Mark Prothero when he went to Eastern Suburbs in Sydney as a winger.
This is Young.
He's been strong, hasn't he? He's been the Crushers' best forward, that's for sure.
Teven will work it across to the right for Gilmeister. Kerrod Walters and Alan Cann put him away. Teven looks back at the blind and goes open. Peasant's pass is behind Lee. And now Renouf. Langer. And a good tackle snuffs him out. Made by Horsnell. Andrew G. The Broncos, while they hold the football, are making inroads. Green. Teven comes up with Hearn. They combine. 30 metres out from the line. And then Langer. And Langer runs into Young. Teven comes over the top. 5 gone for the Broncos.
Well, we see the kick for the wingers. Kevin Walters drives it in. It's a bad kick. Travis Norton plucks it out of the air and then picks up an easy 15 or 20. No,
still going is Norton. Pulled down by Peter Ryan. Well, he just absolutely threaded his way through them. Now Peacock and a penalty. Offside against the Broncos in defence. What else could you do? Now Lee, inside ball. Teven on, Peasant away. Young was with it. Young looks back. And, Steve Renouf has gone down. Tony Hearn. Steve Renouf wobbled away from the action and then collapsed on the ground. Now a long ball out for Peacock. Peacock did well. Gilmeister. They're inside the 20-metre line. Renouf is still down injured. Peasant. His pass was a mile too hard. And this is Willie Kahn now.
Well, Steve Renouf is leaving the field as the referee signals 6 again. Wendell Saylor will be tackled on the first. Renouf getting assistance from one trainer. Doesn't look as though it'd be as serious as what it first appeared, the way that he went down.
Ryan picked up and dropped on the ground. Now Hancock. And the Crushers are hitting just as hard now. Langer, look at him go to the halfway line. This is becoming desperate stuff from the Broncos now. They've got their foot on the floor. Green, 40 metres away from the Crushers line. Early day, second half. But they are in a football match of quite some proportion.
Oh, there's another mistake made. Cleaned up by the Crushers. Tony Hearn spins out of a tackle of Alan Langer.
And the Crushers has come on. I think I know what this will be for. When Tony Hearn took that ball up, he's got a bit of a habit of this. He lifted his elbow. I'm just thinking this might be the problem.
Yeah, it looked dangerous. He spun out of the tackle, but there's no doubt he lifted the elbow after Kevin Walters came up with this mistake. Ball was offloaded to Hearn. See, as he comes up, he raises the elbow into Alan Langer.
Gee, I tell you what, I think they're grasping at straws.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad when you look at it again.
No. Anyway, Hearn's come off.
Well, it's not that.
It's not that, obviously. It's to do with this man, Grant Young, the number 10. The crowd, incidentally, a record crowd for a club round. It's probably the late tackle on Langer from Young. 34,263. I can find no other reason for the penalty other than a late shot on Alan Langer. So the Broncos are that close as they prepare for the tap. G. Crushers almost pushing each other out of the road to make the tackle. Green. The line is just there. Kerrod Walters, Langer around the back, and they've lost ground, and Hancock is put away. South Queensland are playing inspirational football. Thorne. Kerrod Walters. Over the 20. Will he make it? No, he's been put away by Danny Peacock. Now Johnny Plath. Lofted pass back.
It's the last tackle.
Thorne ridden into the ground, and that is a turnover.
Oh, they've had some chances. All they needed was some support there for Kerrod Walters. A beautiful run made by him, and they've lost the plot on the 5th tackle.
What's the story on Steve Renouf? Gary Belcher.
Well, it looks serious at first, but he's only got a cork just above his knee on the bottom part of his thigh. He's stretching it now. I think he should be back, and they're going to need him. I don't think Wayne Bennett will be too happy after what he said about running it on the 5th tackle.
Yeah, well, after listening to what you had to say, Renouf is there getting some feeling back in the leg, but you'd no sooner told us what Wayne Bennett was talking about, and it was like a blatant refusal to carry out the instructions. I know that's not the case, but that's the way it appeared. Pezzett's kick is a better one. His kicking game left a bit to be desired in the first half. And now one of their young stars, Darren Lockyer, has pulled down.
Yeah, the kicking game wasn't particularly good, but the one thing from the Crushers that made up for that was the chase. And there was evidence of it again. Good tackle down low that time by Gilmeister.
And Renouf is going back. Just waiting to get a player off, and he'll go back on. Kerrod Walters has been near enough to their best. Michael Hancock, speculator in field.
Great cover defence from Mark Prothero. There was only one marker. He appealed that he was held out of the play. The reverse saw them take advantage of that. Watch the lock forward come across there. He's had an excellent game for his team, Prothero, in the uncustomary position of lock forward.
The Crushers will feed the scrum because the ruling is that Hancock had a foot on the line, and the referee has taken that as the first breach. South Queensland try to puncture Brisbane through the centres. Couple of metres into Broncos area now. This is Carmichael. From Tevan they go to the right. Clinton O'Brien, and then Prothero pulled down 3 metres from the line. Tevan, a chance for the Crushers, away from Carmichael, on to Lee, and again the pass is too hard, and the Broncos come away.
Oh, it was a simple matter of a cutout pass to 2 unmarked players on the outside, and it had to be try time.
Gary, an important change in the Crushers lineup.
Yeah, we saw Kevin Carmichael involved in that movement. He's on. I'm not sure why Troy Pezet is off the field. Perhaps Bob Linder is resting him. I hope he can be the match winner later in the game.
I think at times that Pezet's disjointed the attack out there, Gary. But can't see that Bob Linder had a lot of choice in maybe trying to do something around that area. As Brisbane hit back now, and they really should have scored in that last movement at the other end of the field.
Langer then, drilling it down for Peacock. And Danny Peacock, 28 years of age, is having a fine game at the back for the Crushers. Oh, that'll bring... No, it doesn't. He claimed that the defence wasn't obstructed. Clinton O'Brien again. Tevan out from dummy half, a solo effort. 10 metres from the halfway line. Cross now wide for Lee, and they go in. It's Gaffey, and now Carmichael. And that kick down inside the 20-metre line. Maybe that's why the change has been made.
Yeah, it's a good kick, that one. He found plenty of distance over the head of Michael Hancock, and that's what they'll be looking to do. Play good field position, kick the ball as deep as they can, and their chase has been very good all night.
8 points to 6. With every minute that ticks away, the Crushers, their confidence getting higher. They're still in front.
Brisbane will be trying to keep the ball alive at any cost. That's their best style of play. There's another mistake in trying to do so. Pass was going to be thrown back inside to Wendell Saylor. They love throwing the football around, but their execution has been poor tonight.
Well, how do you reckon the bloke that's had 20 big ones on them, how do you think he's feeling? With 25 to go. Mark Prothero, I think he's had a career best game tonight. He's had an absolute blinder.
He has, you're quite right, and the bloke at the back has also been very strong, Danny Peacock. But Prothero has been outstanding for them. Played by Horsnell, Teven to the right, Young, another of those stampeding runs. Now from Teven, behind Hearn, into Carmichael, out for Lee. Lee, who laid on a try late in the first half. Carmichael, then for Gaffey. Gaffey's kick, and cleaned up by Lockyer. 10 metres out from his own line. Plath, Saylor. And you've got to be careful of this man no matter where. Right in front of his own posts. Alan Cann. Hancock. Ooh, Young had him in the target, or had him in his sights. Langer, Kevin, then Lockyer, now Darren Smith. Darren down to the halfway line. Good run, good combination. Now from Kerrod Walters into Kevin, across for Alfie Langer. Langer, a chip and chase. Peacock, ground to cover, kicked again by Langer, finds touch. So, 8 points to 6, and the tension, it mounts with every second. Welcome back to Suncorp Stadium, and a record crowd. In fact, a crowd rivaling the old State of Origin crowds when this was known as Lang Park. The new grandstand, though, sees the ground record at around about 41,000. This is a club record crowd for Lang Park, 34,263. And I use the word Lang Park to incorporate those years of history. Certainly it is for Suncorp. Good passing, hit and spin. Langer, did he knock on?
The referee said play on. He didn't think so.
21 metres away from the Crushers line. Is this the time in the game when the Broncos grab the lead again? Darren Smith at 8 points to 6. Now from Saylor. And this is Peter Ryan. Ryan has put away. They're 5 metres out. And Kerrod Walters is the dummy half. He goes around for Darren Smith, and he's met and pulled down by Nigel Gaffey. Away to the left, a long ball. Kevin had to wait for it, and then is put away by Trevor Gilmeister. 10 metres line, 8-6 in favour of the Crushers. Langer goes across. They've got the jump on them. The Broncos come away with it. Hancock, a circling run. He loses it. The Crushers have got it.
It's great, it's great to watch from both teams. Brisbane probing away, keeping the ball alive. Darren Smith leaves the field. Tony Hearn drops the shoulder, still offloads, and Craig Teven picks up 15 or 20 end-to-end stuff. Both teams very positive in keeping the ball alive. This was what appeared to be a knock-on from Alan Langer, but it was called play on.
41 metres away from the Broncos line, and Tony Hearn. Now from Young. Teven applies the kick. The bounce will force Darren Lockyer back to his 10-metre line. but he's going in the right direction. Tackled by Gaffey, as Langer has to scurry back to be the only player available for dummy half duty. Now it's Willie Kahn. And then for Kevin Walters. And then across for Kerrod. And further for Darren Lockyer. A stammer and a hesitation as he's wrapped up again by Gaffey. Thoroughly. Young loaded the gun and went Cruncho. Now it's Norton who's playing on the wing. An arc-like run and then away from a feeble Broncos tackle. 40 metres out from the Broncos line.
Oh, what about Grant Young's defence? He's had another great game tonight, Grant Young. They're all playing well, just on pure guts and determination.
Hostile.
The Crushers should win this. Whether they can hang on is another thing.
Talk about Trevor Gilmeister, whatever team he's in, is that he puts some fear in the opposition, that they're looking for him as Clotteray gets hit. The same is going to apply to this Grant Young. He'll have Blakes looking left, right and centre to see where he's coming in defence.
Now Lee is tackled. Gilmeister on the interchange bench. 20 metres out. The last tackle. Peasant's kick is very, very deep, but Lockyer had to get underneath it and make a bird of it.
Well, they've got to give that job to Carmichael. There's just no results at the moment for Troy Peasant.
There's a problem, is there, with Saylor? No, he's okay.
He's thirsty.
10 metres on their own side of halfway. The Broncos trailing 8-6. Hancock, of course, coming from Sydney to cover matches here in Queensland. They've always had, aside from New South Wales, primarily against a side from Brisbane. Tonight is a novelty for Peter and I anyway, and it is a thoroughly enjoyable game as the Broncos make the ball do the work. And Willie Kahn picks it up with 6 to go. Tackle count nullified. G finding Renoff. Renoff splicing through. Look out, here he comes. And the Prince is pulled down eventually. So the Broncos with momentum and some wind in the sails, and Kevin Walters is pulled down. 3 metres from the line, they set it up. Chris Johns, Alan Langer, he'll score. Alfie has put it down for a try.
Yeah, tired defence. A shame for the Crushers because they defended so well, but it was the second set of 6 in a row for Brisbane. Some lazy defenders on the other side of the ruck. Play the ball here. Comes to Langer on the open side, and we'll see on the far side, players not moving. As we freeze it there, this player over here and this player haven't come across. There's a big hole in the middle. Play continues. Tony Hearn just a little bit slow to react. And Alan Langer, well, he thrives in those situations.
Well, after the great defence they've shown on it, came down to something as simple as this.
Willie Kahn came into the season as probably the stop-gap kicker. Position vacated by Julian O'Neill, but when we saw him against West and then he carried it on against Illawarra, he's in magnificent kicking form. Kahn converts and the Broncos lead the Crushers by 4. This is Lockyer. Plath. Kevin Walters in front of Renoff. Been some very sloppy moments in the game for the Broncos that won't please their coach. Particularly those errors that have made when there hasn't been any pressure applied to them. One thing to make a mistake under pressure, but to cough it up, a voluntary mistake, I guess that is a coach's nightmare. It was, in fact, it was Chris Johns who played it for Langer to drive it ahead. And Kevin Walters was in front of the kicker. We'll put that in the memory bank. We don't need to now because he's played at the ball and he's ruled that it came off the hands. Talking of something voluntary, this was just that. And there's no doubt there was a hand on it. So the Broncos, one can expect, could be celebrating another try on the end of this set. Carmichael is 24.
Look at the 10 yards. Get in there, Jonesy.
Desert has been in and out of the game. They work one to the blind side, and now they come back open. Langer, Kevin Walters, a dummy for Renouf, and then Lockyer comes in, but beautifully read by Horsnell it is. Back Gilmeister, but here it's Kevin Walters, and Kevin Walters scores the third try for the Broncos.
Oh, and some more very sloppy defence up the middle of the ruck. It's been a tragedy they've defended so well, but look, just around the ruck, they've got their backs turned, they're lazy, they don't know how to defend around that area. Their pivot defensive forwards are too wide, and that's where the gaps are for the little blokes like Walters and Langer. That's where the last two tries have come.
Yeah, you don't often see Trevor Gilmeister with his back turned in defence. He was guilty there, obviously, fatigue setting in, a grabbing attempt by Horsnell. And then Kevin Walters able to step out of the fullback's tackle.
A couple of passes that I've called as being far too hard to players in close proximity. They were chances for the Crushers. Converted by Willie Kahn, the try of Kevin Walters, and we go to the 72nd minute to watch it again. Gilmeister had just retired from having made an important tackle to snuff out the previous attack.
Yeah, there were still plenty of players there. Kevy ran through 4 or 5 of them then.
Crushers trailing then by 10, having led at the break by 2. And the Broncos are back on the 20-metre line now as Alan Cann carries it away.
John Plath getting out of dummy half. Now the Broncos working their way through Peter Ryan. He spins out of some tackles. That's a tremendous run. Excellent offload to Alan Langer. Beautiful work from the lock forward for the Broncos. Coming home with a wet sail now. They know they've got this game wrapped up, looking to finish in style.
Kevin Walters into another hole, stepping out of a tackle and pulled down 15 out. Tackle 5, will they go through the hands? They've got the Crushers on the back foot. Langer, he goes to the air and across. The outside backs, I don't know about them, but Renouf has snatched it out of mid-air and put it down. The replay will be important, but Renouf scores the try.
Oh, you just can't deny them. What a classy football side they are as they come now to the 22 points to 8 lead. In one set of 6 tackles, they've gone the full length of the field. A typical Alan Langer kick, a typical Steve Renouf leap, and a typical Broncos try.
Yeah, you can't stop concentrating against them. Steve Renouf flying high.
Now, Willie Kahn to try and convert his most difficult tonight. But unsuccessful. 22 points to 8. Michael Hancock comes away. First try of the match went to Willie Kahn after 27 minutes. But then the Crushers came back with tries at 31 and 36 to lead at the break 8-6. Sailor now. As the final seconds tick away. Langer at the 62nd, Kevin Walters the 70th, and Steve Renouf at the 75th as they go on another rampage. And there goes Renouf down the flank. That is play on. Lockyer. Oh, razzle dazzle. And there it is.
Oh, that's a great Brisbane try. We were talking about the 50 and 60 metre tries they're capable of scoring. That's one out of the top drawer, and I think it's just got Fatty with the start.
Got Fatty out of more trouble.
He's doing cartwheels, which isn't a pretty sight. I'll give you the tip. Beautiful inside ball from Alan Langer to Kevin Walters. Then to Renouf. He hit the accelerator. The tackle from Weston was a good one, and the pass back inside went to the feet of Darren Lockyer. He kept it on the toe and then takes it round under the posts.
26-8. If he misses, There could be a house for sale at Collaroy, but he doesn't. 28-8. Brisbane, the Broncos. By gee, they know they've played a game of rugby league.